Today, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar will give the lecture on the logistics. What is the logistics? What are the definition of the logistics? What are the logistics value proposition? What are the work of the logistics? What are the logistics operations? These questions will be answered in this lecture, and this topic is in the syllabus of the global logistics and the warehousing management. So today we discuss about the definition and the concept of the logistics, logistics value proposition, service benefits, cost minimization, logistics value generation. The work of the logistics: order processing, inventory, transportation, warehousing, material handling, and packaging. Facility network design. Logistics operations are inventory flow, physical distribution, manufacturing support, procurement, information flow, planning and coordination flow, operational requirement. Logistical operating arrangement: Aclon structural logistics, direct structure logistics, flexible logistics system, then the supply chain synchronization, performance supply cycle structure, market distribution, performance cycle, manufacturing support performance cycle, procurement performance cycle uncertainty. Then summary, then the keywords, then the review questions, then the further reading. After studying this unit, you will be able to understand the definition and the concept of the logistics, explain logistics value proposition, discuss the work of the logistics, describe logistic operation, understand the logical operating arrangement, explain the logistics operating arrangement, discuss logistics operating arrangement. Logistics is the one of the most important segment of the phenomena of the marketing in the business. It is a subset of the supply chain management. It is a subset of the supply chain management. Supply chain management is used in the broader area. Logistics is a subset of this one. In the business functioning, the trader gets order for the supply of his goods or services through his marketing executive or directly from customers, and then to the execute the order to the satisfaction of the customers. The trader or his supplier company prepares the logistics. I procures the product or services, put labels on them, or gives some identification, trademark, name to them. Make necessary packing and the packaging so as to save them from damage of any kind during loading, unloading, handling, transportation, etc. Till is supplied to the end customer. More simply, it is a bundle of the goods finally ready to be supplied to the customer. In logistics study, all factors contributing till the last stage when the goods or service is finally supplied to the customer are systematically studied. Definition and concept of the logistics. The word logistics is derived from the French word logger, which means art of the war pertaining to the movement and supply of the army. A military concept: fighting a war requires setting an objective, meticulous planning to achieve the objective, proper deployment of the troops, supply lines consisting of weaponry, food, etc. A logistic plan should be such that there is minimum loss of men and material. Similar to fighting a war in the battlefield, marketing managers also prepare a suitable logistic plan that is capable of fulfilling the company objectives of meeting the demand of the targeted customers in a profitable way. Inbound logistics plus material management plus physical distribution is the logistics. Inbound logistics, material management plus physical distribution. Inbound logistics means the movement of the material received from the supplier. Material management means the movement of the material and component inside a firm. Physical distribution refer to the movement of goods outward from the end of the assembly line to the customer. Supply chain management is larger than the logistics, and it links logistics more directly within the user's total communication network and with the firm engineering staff. if not only includes manufacturer and supplier, but also the transporters, warehouses, retailers, and the customer themselves. According to the Council of the Logistics Management, logistics is the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the efficient, effective flow and storage of the goods, services, and related information from the point of origin to the point of consumption for the purpose of confirming the customer requirement. Logistic management includes the design and administration of a system to control the flow of the material, work in process, and finished inventory to support the business unit strategy. Concept of the logistics. Logistics is that part of the supply chain process that plans, implants, and controls the effective forward and reverse flow and storage of the goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet the customer's requirement. Logistics activity. Customer service. These are the logistics activity. Customer service, demand forecasting, distribution communication, inventory control, material handling, order processing, past and service support, plant and warehouse site selection, procurement, packaging, return goods handling, salvage and scrap disposal, traffic and transportation, warehousing and storage. These are the logistic activity. Few areas of the business involve the complexity or span of the geography typical of the logistics. Logistics is core. They expect products to be available, to be fresh. It is rather difficult to visualize and marketing or manufacturing without logistical support. Logistics has been carried out since the beginning of the civilization. It is hardly new. However, implementing best practices of the logistics has become one of the most exciting and challenging operational area of the business and the public sector management. Logistics is the designing and managing of a system in order to control the flow of material throughout a corporation. This is a very important part of an international company because of the geographical barriers. Logistics of an international company includes movement of the raw material, coordinating flow into and out of the different country, choice of the transportation, cost of the transportation, packaging the product from the shipment, storing the product, and managing the entire process. Supply chain management is the systematic strategic condition of the traditional business function and the tactics across these business function within a practical company and across business within the supply chain, for the purpose of improving the long-term performance of the individual company and the supply chain as a whole. Logistics is typically considered as a subset of the supply chain management. In supply chain management, 5 key functions are procure, make, move, store, and service. Most view logistics as the movement of the products from point A to the point B and all activity involved to make this happen, from carrier selection to the planning to the execution. Logistics is involved at various stages of the supply chain, from supplier to plants, from plant to distribution center, and from distribution center to stores, from store to customer, or any of these combination. Logistics is the process of the movement of material and products into, through, and out of a firm. The complexity of a typical global supply chain. Complexity of the typical global supply chain is down here. Supplier is there, roadway is there, plant is there, roadway is there, custom agent is there, liner is there, road is there, rail is there, regional distribution center is there, customers warehouse roadways is there, customer retailers is there, and customer is there, and the home customer is there. This is the complexity of a typical supply chain. Industry leadership enjoyed by the Cisco system as a result of the logistical competency. Cisco's sales were growing by the 100% per year in the mid-90s. Employment was swelling to keep pace, and supply chain costs were unacceptably high. Product life cycle continued to shorten. Demands for reliability, flexibility, and speed escalated at the alarming rate. To keep pace, Cisco undertook a wholesale revamping of its business process, from design and forecasting to the raw material acquisition, production, distribution, and customer follow. The creation of the Cisco's global networked business model arose in multiple departments at the same time out of a shared realization of the need for the chain. Within this model, Cisco views its supply chain as a fabric relationship rather than in linear fashion. The goal was to transcend the internal focus of the enterprise resource planning system to embrace a network supply chain of all trading partners. Primary goals were servicing the customer better, coping with the huge growth, and driving down cost, utilizing the internet. It is pursuing a single enterprise strategy today. Cisco relies on 5 contract manufacturers for nearly 60% of the final assembly and the testing, and 100% of the basic production. Through a strict oversight and a clear set of the standards, Cisco ensured that every partner achieves the same high level of quality. All 14 of its logistic manufacturing sites, along with 2 distributors, are linked via a single enterprise extranet. The quest for a single enterprise had tied Cisco to its supplier in precedented ways. Product now flows from the first and second tier supplier without the documentation and notification on which most supply chain really rely. Instead of responding a specific work order, contact manufacturer turn out components according to a daily build plan derived from a single long-term forecast shared through the supply chain. Items move either to Cisco or directly to its customers. Payment occurs automatically upon receipt. There are no purchase orders, invoices, or the traditional acknowledgement. In exchange for getting paid sooner, suppliers are required to aggressively attack their cost structure, but not point where they cannot make a profit. It is not a partnership if you are putting the order guy of the business, says the Barbara Sieverts, manager of the supply chain solution with the Cisco's Internet Business Solution Unit. Cisco cite at least 128 billion in annual saving from the single enterprise strategy. It has reduced time to market by the 25% while hitting 97% of delivery targets. Inventory have been cut nearly in half. Order cycle time has declined from 6 to 4 weeks a year ago to between 1 and 3 weeks now. Under a program known as the dynamic replacement, demand signals follow instantly to the constant manufacturer. Inventories can be monitored by all supply chain partners on the real-time basis. Some 55% of the product now moves directly from supplier to customer, bypassing Cisco altogether. This is moved several days from the order cycle. Direct fulfillment means the reduced inventory, labor cost, and shipping expenses. Cisco takes saving at the rupees $10 per unit or around $12 million a year. Working with the UPS, Cisco took control of the outbound supply chain, allowing for time-definite delivery throughout Europe within the 5 to 8 days via a single point of the contact with Oracle's inventory control system hooked directly into the UPS logistics and the management system. Cisco now tracks product to the destination on a real-time basis. The extra measure of control allows it to intercept, reroute, or the reconfigure orders on the shorter notice. Through deferred delivery, Cisco ensures that a component would not arrive at the customer's clock until it is ready to install. Cisco's outsourcing strategy took another step forward recently with the decision to turn over the shipping and the warehousing function to FedEx Corporate. The air, ground, and logistics service provider will manage a merge in the transit operation or direct shipment to end customers, resulting in the near elimination of the Cisco operated warehouses within the 5 years. Logistic value proposition. Thus far, has been established that logistics should be managed as an integrated effort to achieve customer satisfaction at the lowest total cost. Logistic performed in this manner creates value. In this section, the elements of the logistic value proposition, service, and cost minimization we discussed in greater detail. Service benefits. Almost any level of the logistical service can be achieved if a firm is willing to commit the required resources. In today's operating environment, the limiting factor is economics, not technology. For example, a dedicated inventory can be maintained in close geographical proximity to the major customer. A fleet of trucks can be held in a constant state of delivery readiness. To facilitate order processing, dedicated communication can be maintained on a real-time basis between a customer and the supplier's logistical operation. Given this high state of the logistical readiness, a product or component should be delivered within minutes of the identifying a customer requirement. Cost minimization. This decision based on the cost minimization criteria. The least total cost system design includes both the transportation cost as well as the inventory cost. Figure 2.2 illustrates the concept. In the figure, the total transportation curve has a low at a 8 facility. However, the total inventory cost curve shows an increase with each additional warehouse. For the overall system, the optimal system network is reflected by the total cost network, which in this figure is found to be 6 locations. Though a great many problems must be overcome to effectively examine total cost, particularly the assumptions of the single planning period and average size shipment. The analysis for the least total cost solution found in figure 2.2 illustrates the trade-off between the cost generating activity. While the transportation cost determines the economically viable number of the locations, the inventory cost modulates both the number and the size of the warehouses. The minimal total cost point for the system is not at the point of the least cost for either transportation or inventory, reflecting the approach of integrated logistical analysis. Here in the figure, total cost warehousing network is shown and the total transportation cost is given, total inventory cost is given, and the total cost network is shown here. Number of locations is given in the x-axis and total cost on the y-axis. Logistic cost form an important part of the overall cost structure in an organization. Focus needs to be on renegotiating freight and shipping rates, reduction in overall freight cost, and the streamlining operation. Today, logistics management has gained special attention because of high emphasis on quality of the goods and services, as well intense price competition, which is facing companies to control the cost to survive in the market. The lowering logistic cost, one has to understand the following steps for the lowering logistic cost. Step 1, determining the customer service target and organizational goal. Step 2, computing current logistic cost. Step 3, benchmarking the cost for performing a given sort of the activity against the competitors in the similar business. Step 4, developing lower cost methods and implementing them to meet business needs. The percentage of logistic cost to the total value added signifies the importance of the logistic related activity from the cost perspective. It is high for the bulk goods manufacturer, while it is low for the consumer goods manufacturer. For bulk goods, total logistic cost as a proportion of the value addition is about 70%, out of which transportation cost constitute nearly 2/3. Four main areas of the logistic management are the procurement, transport, transshipment, and storage of the goods. Supply chain logistic cost account for 5 to 50% of the product's total cost, depending on the intensity in industry. Following are the tips to reduce the cost in these 4 areas. Procurement. Streamlining sourcing techniques. Understand the true cost of the sourcing, which include freight, duty, inventory carrying cost, brokerage involved in the procuring. Order management, it includes understand various specification and design order requirement with each supplier, which will help in identifying ways of the reducing cost and also help reducing price structure. Other methods include switching to lower price substitute, implementing just-in-time delivery from supplier that can lower a company's inventory, as well as internal logistic cost, which in turn also allows suppliers to economize on company shipping, warehousing, and production scheduling costs, which could be the beneficial for both. Transportation, selecting of appropriate mode of the transportation Each mode has its own advantage and disadvantage in terms of the good, speed, capacity, flexibility, and safety. Therefore, selecting optimal mode of the transportation, air, water, rail, road, and through pipeline, which can be best suits the quantity and quality of the goods to be supplied and required during the delivery time, reduces the opportunity cost involved due to unavailability of the goods at the right time. Loss due to damage to goods during the transit can be avoided. Optimal vehicle routing and the scheduling can reduce the in-transit inventory. Various mathematical and analytical methods like shortest route method, transportation method, etc. can be used for optimizing accompanying the cost. Freight consolidation can also reduce the transportation cost to a greater extent. It involves bringing together a smaller quantity of inventory in order to create a bigger quantity of the transportation. All these methods are elaborated further in the coming section. Transshipment, it mainly involves controlling the express shipping cost. Typically, when a company have an entire shipment sent on an express service level basis for which higher cost is incurred. This can be reduced by the proper planning and calculating amount of the goods required for immediate delivery by express service and can distribute the cost accordingly. Inventory. To build up inventory, sufficient capital has to be tied up for a length of the time. Thus, by proper analyzing demand and the supply patterns and the nature of the product will result in the reduction of the cost that will also in optimizing the level of the inventory. Logistics value generation. The key to achieving logistics leadership is to master the art of the matching operating competency and commitment to key customer expectation and the requirement. This customer commitment is an exciting cost framework is the logistics value proposition. It is a unique commitment of a firm to individual or selected groups of its customer. The typical enterprise seeks to develop and implement an overall logistical competency that satisfies customer expectation at the realistic total cost expenditure. Very seldom will either the lowest total cost or the highest attainable customer service constitute the fundamental logistic strategy. Likewise, the appropriate combination will be different for the different customers. A well-designed logistical effort must have high customer response and capability while controlling operational variance and minimizing inventory commitment. And most of all, it must have relevancy to the specific customer. Significant advances have been made in the development of tools to aid management in the measurement of the cost service trade-off. Formulation of a sound strategy requires a capability to estimate operating cost required to achieve alternative service level. Likewise, alternative levels of the system performance are meaningless unless viewed in terms of the overall business, unit marketing, and manufacturing, and the procurement strategy. Leading firms realize that a well-designed and well-operated logistical system can help achieve competitive advantage. In fact, as a general rule, firms that obtain a strategic advantage based on the logistical competency establish the nature of their industry competition. The work of the logistics in the context of the supply chain management, logistics exists to move and position inventory to achieve desired time, place, and possession benefit at the lowest total cost. Inventory has limited value until it is positioned at the right time and at the right location to support the ownership transfer or value added creation. If a firm does not consistently satisfy time and the location requirement, it has nothing to sell for a supply chain to realize the maximum strategic benefit for logistics. The full range of the functional work must be generated. Decision in one functional area will impact cost of the all others. If this interrelation of the function that challenges the successful implementation of the integrated logistic management, integrated work related to these functional area creates the capability needed to achieve logistical value. Order processing, the importance of accurate information to achieving superior logistic performance has historically been underappreciated. While many aspects of the information are critical to logistics operation, the processing of orders is of the prime importance. Failure to fully comprehend this importance resulted from the not fully understanding how distortion and operational failures in the order processing impact logical operations. Current information technology is capable of handling the most demanding customer requirement. When desired, order information can be exchanged between the trading partners. Inventory. The inventory requirement of a firm are directly linked to the facility network and the desired level of the customer service. Theoretically, a firm could stock every item sold in every facility dedicated to servicing each customer. Few business operations can afford such a luxurious inventory strategy because the risk and the total cost are prohibitive. The objective of an inventory strategy is to achieve desired customer service with the minimum inventory commitment. With the minimum inventory commitment, excessive inventory may compensate or deficiency basic design of a logistic system, but will ultimately result in the higher than necessary total logistic cost. Logistic strategy should be designed to maintain the lowest possible financial investment in inventory. The basic goal is to achieve maximum inventory turn while satisfying service commitment. A sound inventory strategy is based on a combination of the five aspects of the selective deployment: core customer segmentation, product profitability, transportation integration, time based performance, and competitive performance. Transportation. Transportation is the operational area of the logistic that geographically moves and positions inventory. Because of its fundamental importance and visible cost, transportation has traditionally received considerable marginal attention. Almost all enterprises, big and small, have managers responsible for transportation. Transportation requirement can be satisfied in the three basic ways. First, a private fleet of the equipment may be operated. Second, contracts may be arranged with the dedicated transport specialist. Third, an enterprise may engage the service of the wide variety of the carriers that provide different transportation service as needed on a per shipment basis. From the logistic system viewpoint, three factors are fundamental to the transportation performance. Number one is the cost, number two is the speed, number three is the consistency. The cost of the transport is the payment for the shipment between the two geographical location and the expenses related to maintaining in transit inventory. Logistical system should utilize transportation that minimize total system cost. This may mean that the least expensive method of the transportation may not result in the lowest total cost of the logistic. Speed of the transportation is the time required to complete a specific movement. Speed and cost of the transportation are related in the two ways. First, transport firms capable of offering faster service typically charge higher rates. Second, the faster the transportation service is, the shorter is the time interval during the which inventory is in transit and unavailable. Thus, a critical aspect of selecting the most desirable method of transportation is to balance the speed and cost of the service. Consistency of the transportation refers to variation in time required to perform a specific movement over a number of the shipment. Consistency reflects the dependability of the transportation. Warehousing, material handling, and packaging. The first three functional areas of the logistics are the order processing, inventory, and transportation. Can be engineered into variety of the different operational requirement. Each arrangement has the potential to contribute to the specified level of the customer service with an associated total cost. In essence, these functions combine to create a system solution for the integrated logistics. The fourth functionality of the logistics, warehousing, material handling, and packaging, also represents an integral part of the logistic operating solution. However, these functions do not have independent status of those. Warehousing, material handling, and packaging are an internal part of other logistics area. Inventory typically needs to be warehoused at selected times during the logistic process. Transportation vehicles require material handling for efficient loading and unloading. Finally, individual products are most efficiently handled when packaged together into shipping cartoons or other unit loads. Facility network design. Classical economy neglected the importance of the facility location and overall network design to efficient business operation. When economists originally discussed supply and demand relationship, facility location and the transportation cost differential were assumed either non-existent or equal among the computer. In business operation, however, the number, size, and the geographical relationship of the facility used to perform logistical operations directly impacts customer service capability and cost. Facility network design a primary responsibility of the logistical management. Since a firm's facility structure is used to ship products and material to the customer, typical logistic facility are manufacturing plants, warehouses, cross-dock operation, and retail stores. Logistical operation. The conceptualization of the integrated logistic is illustrated in the shaded area of the figure below. Integrated logistics, customer, physical distribution, manufacturing support, inventory flow and information flow, procurement and the supplier. Logistics as the view as the competency that links an enterprise with its customer and the suppliers. Information from and about customer flow through the enterprise in the form of the sales activity forecast and other. The information is refined into specific manufacturing and the purchasing plans. As products and materials are produced, a value-added inventory flow is initiated that ultimately results in the ownership transfer of the finished products to the customer. Thus, the process is viewed in terms of the two interrelated efforts, inventory flow and the information flow. Prior to discussing each flow in greater detail, two observations are in order. First, viewing internal operation, the shaded area of the figure 2.4 in isolation is to usefully elaborate the fundamental importance of integrating all function and work involved in the logistics. While such integration is a prerequisite to success, it is not sufficient to guarantee that a firm will achieve its performance goals. To be fully effective in today's competitive environment, firms must expand their integrated behavior to incorporate customers and the suppliers. Second, the basic process illustrated in figure 2.5 is not restricted to the for-profit business, nor is it unique to the manufacturing firm. The need to integrate the requirements and operations occur in all business as well as within the public sector organizations. Example, retailing or wholesaling firms typically link physical distribution and purchasing. Since traditional manufacturing is not required, nevertheless, retailers and the wholesaler must complete the logistic value-added process. The same is true of all public sector organizations that manufacture products or provide other services. Inventory flow. The operational management of the logistics is concerned with the movement and the storage of the materials and the finished products. Logistic operations start with initial shipment of the material or component part from a supplier and the finalized when a manufacturer or processed product is delivered to the customer. From the initial purchase of material or component, the logistic process adds value by moving inventory when the where needed. Providing all goods well, a material gains value at each step of its transportation into the finished inventory. In other words, an individual part has greater value after it is incorporated into a machine. Likewise, the machine has greater value once it is delivered to a buyer. Caution: to support manufacturing, work in process inventory must be moved to support final assembly. The cost of each component and its movement becomes part of the value-added process. The final or meaningful value that is added across only with the final ownership transfer of the products of customers when and where specified. For a larger manufacturer, logistic operation may consist of thousands of the movement, which ultimately accumulate in the delivery of the products to an industrial user, retailer or wholesaler, dealer or other customer. For a large retailer, logistic operations may commence with the procurement of the products for resale and may terminate with the consumer pickup or the delivery. For a hospital, logistics start with procurement and ends with the full support of the patient surgery and the recovery. The significant point is that regardless of the size and type of the enterprise, logistics is essential and requires continuous management attention. For better understanding, it is useful to provide logistic operation into three areas: physical distribution, manufacturing, support, and procurement. These components are illustrated in the center of the figure 2.4 as the combined logistic operational units of an enterprise. Physical distribution. The area of the physical distribution concerns movement of the finished product to the customer. In physical distribution, the customer is the final distribution of the market channel. The ability of the product is a vital part of each channel's participating marketing effort. Even a manufacturer's agent, which typically does not own inventory, must depend on the inventory availability to perform the expected marketing responsibility. Unless a proper assortment of products is efficiently delivered when and where needed, a great deal of the overall marketing effort can be jeopardized. It is through the physical distribution process that the time and space of the customer service become an integral part of the marketing. Thus, physical distribution links a marketing channel with its customer to support the wide variety of the marketing system that exist in a highly commercialized nation. Many different physical distribution systems are utilized. All physical distribution systems have one common feature: they link manufacturer, wholesaler, and the retailer into the marketing channel. They provide product availability as an integral aspect of the overall marketing process. Manufacturing support. The area of manufacturing support concentrates on managing work in process inventory as it flows between stage of the manufacturing. The primary logistical responsibility in manufacturing is to participate in formulating a master production schedule and to arrange our timely availability of material, component parts, and work in process inventory. Thus, the overall concern of the manufacturing support is not how production occurs, but rather what, when, and where products will be manufactured. Manufacturing support has one significant difference when compared with the physical distribution. Physical distribution attempts to service the desire of customers and therefore must accommodate the uncertainty of the consumer and industrial demand. Manufacturing support involves movement requirements that are under the control of the manufacturing enterprise. The uncertainty introduced by the random customer ordering and the erratic demand accommodated by the physical distribution are not present in most manufacturing operations. From the viewpoint of the overall planning, the separation of the manufacturing support from the outbound physical distribution and inbound procurement activity provides opportunity for specialization and improved efficiency. Procurement is concerned with the purchasing and arranging inbound movement of material, parts, and or finished inventory from supplier to manufacturing or assembling plants, warehouses, or retail stores. Depending on the situation, the acquisition process is commonly identified by the different names. In manufacturing, the process of acquisition is typically called purchasing. In government circles, acquisition has traditionally been referred to as procurement. In retailing and wholesaling, buying is the most widely used term. In many circles, the process is referred to as the inbound logistics. Although differences do exist concerning acquisition situation, the term procurement is used here to include all types of the purchasing. The term material is used to identify inventory moving inbound to an enterprise, regardless of its degree of readiness for the resale. The term product is used to identify inventory that is available for the customer purchase. In other words, materials are involved in the processes of adding value through the manufacturing, whereas products are ready for the consumption. The fundamental distinction is that the product results from the value added to material during manufacturing, sorting, or assembly. Procurement is concerned with the ability of the desired material assortment where and when needed, whereas physical distribution is concerned with the outbound product shipments. Purchasing is concerned with the inbound material sorting or assembly. Under most marketing situations involving the customer products, such as a grocery manufacturer that ships to retail food chains, the manufacturer's physical distribution is the same process as the retailer's procurement operation, although similar or even identical transportation requirement may be involved. The degree of managerial control and the risk related to performance failure varies substantially between the physical distribution and the procurement. Within a typical enterprise, the three areas of the logistic overlap, viewing each as an integral part of the overall value adding process, create an opportunity to capitalize on the unique attributes of each while facilitating the overall process. The prime concern of an integrated logistical process is to coordinate overall value added inventory movement. The three areas combined to the provide integrated management of the material, semi-finished component, and products moving between locations, supply sources, and customers of the enterprise. In this sense, logistics is concerned with the strategic management of the total movement and the storage. Information flow. Information flow identifies a specific location within a logistic system that have requirements. Information flow integrates the three operating areas. The primary objective of developing and specifying requirement is to plan and execute integrated logistic operation. Within the individual logistic area, different movement requirement exist with respect to the size of the order, availability of the inventory, and urgency of the movement. The primary objective of information sharing is to reconcile these differential. In the discussion that follows, it is important to stress that information requirement parallel the actual work performed in the physical distribution, manufacturing support, and procurement. Whereas these areas contain the actual logistics work, information facility, coordination of the planning, and control of day-to-day operation. Without accurate information, the effort involved in the logistic system can be wasted. Logistical information involves two major types of the flow: coordination flow and the operational flow. The objective at this point is to provide an introductory overview of the information requirement necessary to drive an integrated logistic system. Planning and coordination flow. Coordination is the backbone of the overall information system architecture among value chain participants. Coordination results in process specifying strategic objective, capacity constant, logistic requirement, inventory deployment, manufacturing requirement, procurement requirement, and forecasting. The primary drivers of the overall value chain are the strategic objective that result from the marketing and the financial goals. The strategic objective detail the nature and location of the customers, which are matched to the required products and service to be performed. The financial aspect of the strategic plan detail resources required to support inventory, receivables, facility, equipment, and capacity. Capacity costs constraints coordinate internal and external manufacturing requirement for manufacturing participants in the value chain. This form of the capacity planning is not required. Given a strategic objective, capacity constraint identify limitation, barrier, or the bottlenecks within the basic manufacturing capability and determine appropriate outsource requirement. Example, to illustrate whereas the Kellogg wants the brand and distributes Cracklin oat bran, a third party on contract basis perform all manufacturing. The result of the capacity constraint is a plan that places strategic objective in a time-based schedule that details facility utilization, financial resources, and the human requirement. Planning and coordination flow. Strategic objective is there, capacity constraints are there, forecasting is there, order processing is there, order management is there, logistic requirement is there, inventory deployment is there, inventory management is there, distribution operation is there, manufacturing requirement is there, transportation and shipping is there, procurement requirements are there, procurement is there. Logistic requirements specify the work that distribution facility, equipment, and labor must be performed to implement the capacity plan. Using inputs from the forecasting, promotional scheduling, customer orders, and the inventory status, logistic requirement specify value chain performance. Inventory deployment are the interfaces between the planning, coordination, and operation that detail the timing and composition of the where inventory will be positioned. A major concern of the deployment is to balance the timing and consolidation to create efficiency as inventory flow through the value chain. Inventory is unique in that it is an integral part of the planning, coordination, and operational flow involved in the logistics. From an information perspective, deployment specifies the what, where, and when of the overall logistic processes. From an operational viewpoint, inventory management is performed as a day-to-day event. Because of this duality, inventory deployment and management are illustrated in figure 2.5 between the planning and coordination and operational information flow. In production situations, manufacturing plans are derived from the logistical requirement and typically result in the inventory deployment. The primary deliverable is a statement of the time phase inventory requirement that drives master production schedule and manufacturing requirement planning. The deliverable from the manufacturing requirement is day-to-day production schedule that can be used to specify material and the component requirement. Procurement requirement schedule material and components for inbound shipment to support manufacturing requirement. In retailing the and warehousing situation, procurement involves maintaining product supply. In manufacturing situation, purchasing must facilitate inbound material and component parts from the suppliers. Regardless of the situation, purchasing coordinates decision concerning supplier qualification, degree of the desired speculation, third-party arrangement, and feasibility of the long-term contracting. Forecasting utilizes historical data, current activity levels, and planning assumption to predict future activity levels. Logistical forecasting is generally concerned with the relatively small short-term predictions, less than 90 days. The forecast predict periodically, usually monthly or weekly sales level for the each product, forming the basis of the logistic requirement and the operating plans. The overall purpose of the information planning coordination flow is to integrate a specific activity within a firm and to facilitate overall integrating performance. Unless a high level of the coordination is achieved, the potential exists for operating efficiency and excessive inventory. Planning coordination is illustrated in the healthcare business by the sidebar discussing how hospitals use information to improve efficiency and the customer service. Operational requirement. The second aspect of the information requirement is concerned with the directing operations to receive, process, and ship inventory as required, supporting customer and purchasing order. Operational information requirement deal with the order management, order processing, distribution operations, inventory management, transportation and shipping, and procurement. Order management refers to the transmission of requirement information between the value chain members involved in the finished product distribution. The primary activity of order management is accurate entity and qualification of the customer order. This transfer of the requirement between the value chain participants is typically achieved by the phone, mail, facsimile, fax, or electronic data interchange. The impact of the information technology on order management is extensive. The ability of the low-cost information transfer has revolutionized the order management process. Order processing allocates inventory and assigns responsibility of the satisfy customer requirement. The traditional approach has been to assign available inventory or the plant manufacturing to customer according to the predetermined priority. In technology rich order processing system, two-way communication linkage is maintained with the customer to generate a negotiated order that satisfies customers within the constraint of the planned logistic operations. Distribution operation involves information flow required to facilitate and coordinate performance within the logistic facility. The primary purpose of the logistical facility is to provide material or product assortment to satisfy the order requirement. Emphasis is placed on the schedulability of the desired assortment with minimum duplication and the redundant work effort. The key to distribution operation is to store and handle specified inventory as little as possible while still meeting customer order requirement. Inventory management is concerned with using information to implement the logistics plan as specified. Using a combination of the human resources and information technology, inventory is deployed and then managed to satisfy the plant requirement. The work of the inventory management is to make sure that the overall logistical system has appropriate resources to perform as planned. Transportation and shipping information direct the movement of the inventory. To achieve efficiency, it is important to consolidate orders so as to utilize transportation capacity. It is also necessary to ensure that the required transportation equipment is available when needed. Finally, because ownership transfer often results from the transportation, supporting documentation is required. Procurement is concerned with the information necessary to complete purchase order, preparation, modification, and release while ensuring overall supplier compliances. In many ways, information related to procurement is similar to that involved in the order processing. Both forms of the information exchange serve to facilitate operation that link in a firm with its customer and supplier. The primary difference between the procurement and the order processing is the type of operation that results from the requirement transfer. The overall purpose of the operational information is to provide the detailed data required for the integrated performance of the physical distribution, manufacturing support, and procurement operation. Whereas planning coordination flows provide the information concerning planned activity, operational requirement are needed to direct the day-to-day logistic work. Within the context of the information and inventory flow, the managers within an enterprise must achieve some specific objective to fully exploit logistical competency. Logistical operating arrangement. The potential for logistical service is to favorably impact customer is directly related to the operating system design. The many different facets of the logistic performance requirement make operational design a complex task, as an operating structure must offer a balance of the performance, cost, and flexibility. When one considers the variety of logistical systems used throughout the world to service widely diverse market, it is astonishing that any structural similarity exists. But keep in mind that all logistical arrangements have two common characteristics. First, they are designed to manage inventory. Second, the range of the logistic alternative is limited by the available technology. These two characteristics tend to create commonly observed operating arrangement. Three widely utilized structures are echelon, direct, and the combined. Echelon structured logistics. Classification of a logistic system as having an echelon structure means that the flow of the products typically proceeds through a common arrangement of the firm and facilitate as it moves from origin to the final destination. The use of echelon usually implies that the total cost analysis justifies stocking some level of the inventory or performing a specific activity at the consequting level of the supply chain. Echelon system utilize warehouses to create inventory storage and achieve consolidation economies associated with large volume transportation shipment. Inventory positioned in the warehouses are available for the rapid deployment to meet customer requirement. Typical echelon system utilize either break, bulk, or consolidation warehouses. A break bulk facility typically receives large volume shipment from a variety of the suppliers. Inventory is stored in anticipation of the future customer requirement. Food destination center operated by the major grocery chains and the wholesaler are examples of the break bulk warehouses. A consolidation warehouse operates in a reverse profile. Consolidation is typically required by the manufacturing firms that have plants at different geographical locations. Product manufactured at the different plants are sorted in a central warehouse facility to allow the firm to ship full-time assortment to the customer. Major consumer product manufacturers are prime examples of the enterprise using echelon system for full-time consolidation. Direct structure logistics, in contrast to inventory echeling, are the logistical system designed to ship products direct to the customer's destination from one or a limited number of the centrally located inventory. Direct distribution typically uses the expedited service of the premium shipment combined with the information technology to rapidly process customer orders and achieve delivery performance. This combination of the capability designed into the order delivery cycle reduces the time delays and overcome geographical separation from the customers. Example of the direct shipment are the plant to consumer truckload shipment, direct store delivery, and various forms of direct consumer fulfillment required to support e-commerce shipping. Direct logistical structures are also commonly used for the inbound compounds and the material to manufacture plants because the average shipment size is typically large. Flexible logistic system. The ideal logistic arrangement is a situation wherein the inherent benefits of the Echelon and the direct structure are combined into a flexible logistic system. Anticipatory commitment of the inventory should be ideally postponed as long as possible. Inventory strategy often position fast moving products or material in forward warehouses, while other more risky or costly items are stocked at a central location for direct distribution to customers. The basic service commitment and the order size economics determine the most desirable and economical structure to service a specific customer. Emergency flexible structure. Emergency flexible operation are pre-planned strategy to resolve logistic failures. A typical emergency occurs when an assigned shipping facility is out of the stock or for some other reason cannot complete a customer's order. For example, a warehouse may be out of an item with no replacement inventory schedule to arrive until after the customer's specified order delivery date. To profit back order or product cancellation, a contingency operating policy may assign the total order or add the list those items not available for shipment from an alternative warehouse. The use of emergency flexible operation procedure is typically based on the potential of the specific customer or the critical nature of the product being ordered. Routine flexible structure. A flexible logistic capability that has gained popularity as a result of the improved communication involves procedure for serving specified customers developed as a part of the basic logistic system design. The flexible logistic rules and the decision scenario specify alternative ways to meet the service requirement, such as assignment of the different shipping facility. A strategy that expects routine flexible operation may be justified in at least 4 different situations. Supply chain synchronization. Synchronization is the ability to coordinate, organize, and manage end-to-end supply chain flow, products, services, information, and financial in such a way that the supply chain function as a single entity. Supply chain synchronization is the ability to coordinate and organize and manage end-to-end supply chain flow, including product, services, information, and financial, in such a way that the supply chain function as a single entity. In other words, it is a shared objective for the supply chain member who are willing to work together to determine how best to perform the overall activity and ask that are required to meet the customer demand. With synchronized supply chains, the overall goal is the same with the traditional supply chain management. There are 3 key differences. However, one is that company work with their vendors in order to coordinate with their processes and to achieve simultaneous production. Another difference is that the internet and other types of the technology are incorporated into the process to make those processes run smoother and more efficiently. Finally, the buying organization will need to hire, train, and restructure their workforce man in order to able to accommodate this type of the supply chain management. Synchronization enables companies to anticipate demand disruption and anomalies in a timely manner in order to mitigate the infamous blue wave effect. It helps firms move to demand-driven environment that is better equipped to deal with the uncertainty. Typically, supply chain managerial handle uncertainty through the buffering. It maintains pool of the inventory at multiple places in a supply chain. A synchronized supply chain operates by separating baseline demand from the demand surges and then using a strategy point in the supply chain for the placement and use of the capacity and inventory. Firms that are not synchronized often find that they have higher cost than firms and supply chains that have some degree of the synchronization in their supply chain. The higher cost can result from inefficiency in the everything from the manufacturing chain, orders to be expedited, transportation cost. As cost that is not often known due to the lack of the synchronization. However, it is the total cost due to the excess inventory carried by the supply chain members in an attempt to cover their exposure to risk. Simply recognizing that a firm is operating in a reactive model does not guarantee that necessary changes will be made. That is, firm will not necessarily make the needed investment in improving the synchronization unless organizational behavior, management processes, and technological infrastructure issues are addressed. Changes to these areas will not happen unless management is convinced that doing otherwise would be detrimental to the well-being of the firm. To achieve the ideal state of the synchronization, a firm must reconsider an even broader perspective. It is not just what is good for the firm, but rather that is best for the many members of the entire supply chain. Performance cycle structure. The performance cycle represents the elements of the work necessary to complete the logistic related to the market distribution, manufacturing, and the support procurement. It consists of a specific working ranging from the identification and requirement to the product delivery. Because it integrates various aspects of the work, the performance cycle is the primary unit of the analysis for the logical synchronization. At the basic level, information and transportation must link all firms functioning in a supply chain. The operational locations that are linked by the information and transportation are referred to as model nodes. In addition to supply chain nodes and link, performance cycle involve inventory assets. Inventory is measured in terms of the asset investment level allocated to the support of operation at a node or a while a product or material is in transit. Inventory committed to the supply chain nodes consist of the base stock and the safety stock. Base stock is the inventory held at a node and is typically one half of the average shipment size received. Safety stock exists to protect against variance in demand or operational lead time. It is at and between the supply chain nodes. The work related to the logistics is performed. Inventory is stocked and flows through nodes, necessitating a variety of the different types of the material handling and, when necessary, storage. While a degree of the handling in transit storage takes place within the transportation, such activity is minor in comparison to that typically performed within a supply chain node, such as a warehouse. Performance cycle become dynamic as they accommodate input-output requirement. The input of the performance cycle is demand, typically in the form of a work that specifies requirement for a product or a material. A high volume supply chain will typically require a different and wider variety of the performance cycle than a chain having lower throughputs. When operating requirements are highly predictable or relatively low volume throughput, the performance cycle structure required to provide supply chain logistics support be simplified.